and Dylan can post it.
Do you want me to still stay recording, or would you want to do it?
We'll see what it works out.
Okay.
I'm streaming live to YouTube. Let's see if it'll do it. I think it should do it because I'm streaming live from mine.
Mhm.
I think oh,
Oh, the YouTube video is now private.
yeah, that's when yeah, I see that. I don't know what happened.
Press stop.
Unavailable. Yeah.
I
Did
bet
you?
it's because I'm recording.
I've had that before though too. Yeah. Let me just try again. Yeah. Let me just try it again. No, see now it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I
Nothing.
see it.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Sometimes it does that. I don't know why. Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I got this. I got let me do my show captions. Let me go. I'm gonna go to room. Okay, good. So what's up, Isabel? How are we doing? What's going on with the group?
We're good.
Okay, did you get the streaming to work?
Yeah.
Right. Great. Okay. And Charles, Gregory, I don't see you. You're in the dark. Okay, and Sophia and Ben. Gotta adjust the cameras, right? And Stephanie, I don't see you either. I see, but I see your ceiling. Now I see. See the bright class. Okay. And Ben, I see half a face. It's hard, at this time of the day, but if I start going like this, you know what I mean? I'll be down on the floor sleeping. So at least that helps partly. Okay. Everybody raring to go? Okay. We're having issues and issues, but hopefully we can overcome their issues. So what I'd like to do today is to see our process of collaboration. Some of you were having issues, of course, streaming live to YouTube, and they were telling you that you need another day. We'll look at that and seeing how each of our groups are doing. When we recording in Zoom, what are some of them, Cole, did you do breakout rooms? Did you try to set up breakout rooms in Zoom?
Yeah, we were able to figure it out.
Okay, and were you able to record your breakout rooms?
Yes. Yeah. Well, when we pressed record, the two that went to the breakout rooms didn't get recorded, but when they came back, it showed them come back.
Can you
If
repeat
that
that
makes
again?
sense.
No, it didn't. Can you repeat that again for me?
When we were recording it, it showed the two people that stayed and that did not join the breakout room.
Okay, but what about the breakout rooms? Could you record inside the breakout rooms?
No, we weren't able to figure out how to get two separate recordings.
Yeah, okay. That's the problem. Zoom does not, at the time being, and I'm stating this is the time being, Cole, because all these products, all these software programs keep on changing and keep on adding new features. But at the time being, as far as I know, Zoom cannot record breakout sessions. Do you see an advantage to record breakout sessions? Any advantage that could possibly be, Cole?
Yeah, so you could hear
Yeah,
what
if for instance, if I set out breakout rooms and I'm the instructor, I'd like to see what was happening in the breakout rooms that later on I could help. Or if I wanted to see who were in the breakout rooms, what was going on, I could do it. If you were even your own group, right? You'd like to see maybe go over or hear what's happening in the breakout rooms. So we need other software to be able to do that. Also, sometimes we're not able to see the entire screen with Zoom recording. A lot of times we're not able to see the control panel with Zoom. So there's another reason to have additional recording capabilities. And that's what we'll be doing here. So let me do a bit of housekeeping, talk about our assignments, our next assignments, and we'll talk about our readings as well. What we were supposed to read and see if everybody's up to date on it. Those of you that have some issues, stay with me after class, or you can put some notes there. Daniel, anyone else that wanted to join Daniel to be a moderator? Do I have any volunteers? Or part
I
of?
can do it.
Okay. Who?
Oh, me.
Oh,
Daniel.
Daniel, but let me have somebody else join you. Is there anyone else that wants to join him? Destiny, do you want to would you be so kind? And
Yeah,
to
I got
just
it. I
good.
can
So
do it.
Destiny, it's good in this way. Destiny, if you can just moderate the chat, even though Daniel's there, if there's something that I need to know, you can kind of like be a backup. I always like to have
Okay.
backups. Okay. And also it's part of class participation as well. You know, if people are doing that. Okay, so let me share as people are coming on, everybody's setting up their proper camera work as well. So let me share my screen and we can start. And let me go to so this is working. We see that we're on YouTube. You see here on my green, that's focusing on my green of since I'm speaking. When I speak with my hands, you can see that there is a delay here. Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Let me go to the content and I'm going to our regular section where I'm going to look at what's due. I'm going to look at what's due section. And I see today is we had last time, it's already in January the 31st of last time we had TG1, which is Tech Guide 1 with hardware. And then we had the Zoom collaboration exercise, which we found, and then we'll look at that in a moment. This Wednesday, TG2A, which is software. That assignment is due this Wednesday. And Wiley Plus, that adaptive assignment is due this Wednesday. A week from today, on Monday, what I'd like you to do as a group and individually is to look at screencasting software. And if you go to assignments and quizzes under exercises, you'll see here's the Zoom, which that should have been done. And then you see the screencasting exercise. And as I mentioned before, not everything is recorded in Zoom. And what I like is an additional way to record, sometimes in place of Zoom, sometimes in addition to Zoom. Just like I'm recording now in Zoom, I'm also recording in a program called Loom. I'm also recording in a program that saves to my computer called MSN Recorder. and Loom is on the cloud. So my objective of next week's assignment as a group and individually is that you look at screencasting programs. You can even Google or any other way, look for free and the ideas of screen recorders, screen cam operating, and then discuss the advantages, the operating system, record. Each of you should record a different program from your group individually, showing how to use that program, plus talking about its advantages and disadvantages. And as a group, meet, and each person in the group, after they have gotten their own screencasting recorder and have recorded it in its own native way, meet as a group and record using Zoom, and of course, without a password, and upload your recordings, group and individual, to Blackboard explaining it. So each of you choose a different screencasting program. I want you to record less than 5 minutes, but to show all the program's advantages and disadvantages, upload it as a file link or as a recording, and include your full name, the screencasting program name, the operating system that it works. Does it work on Windows? Does it work on Linux? Does it work on Mac? It works on all of them. If the screen recording as a link or both, and also tell whether it's paid, free, or versus paid. In the individual and the group, record as a group and share your features and upload that link. So in essence, if we go to this is K audit. Under groups, if I go to Dylan and Daniel, Daniel's here. If I go to Dylan and Daniel, I can see under the Zoom, those of you that want to look at how a recording should look like for the Zoom, the screencasting exercise will be who attended your Zoom session, basically, and in this, mention what screencasting program each of you used. Dylan used QuickTime, Daniel used OBS, and explain it. And then, of course, this is a folder. Underneath the folder, you can see, and at this point, Dylan and Daniel's exercise. Notice, put this in your notes here and look at this as a thing. What I like to make sure that you do is put the date. So in this case, did you put yours in here?
I'm uploading it right now.
Okay, so anyways, put in this case the individual, right? And in this case, Dylan did it as a Miami Zoom, but it's better to do it in the format of the QuickTime Player. Put it as the QuickTime Player. Put in this case the operating system, the storage, what is the difference between the paid and the free automatically, and then the Dylan assumed right here he's not able to upload because it was too big. What I say, what Dylan should have done was basically could contact even Blackboard and compress the file and upload a compressed file there.
If you refresh, I put mine in right now.
Okay, great. So in this case here, what we're able to do in this case is if I go to screencasting exercise, Daniel, for instance, let's go to even to Daniel. We put the date 2/5/24. individual and the name of the program, and then he basically then went through and it did MKV as the file format, and he did it, and then of course he hasn't done it yet, and it would be a group screening recording as well. This is due on a week from Monday. Any questions? Destiny, is there any questions, or do you have any questions? So basically, each person in your group, Destiny, will choose a screencasting recording, do an individual recording, upload it as your own with the date and the file, and then meet as a group and discuss as a group. Each person go around and inform the other group members what program you used. Is that pretty clear, Destiny?
Yes, it is. There also is a question asking if we're all allowed to use the same group, like same recording
No.
program.
No. So put in for everyone in the group uses something different. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
that's why
answered
you
it.
want to meet as a group beforehand to decide what you're going to record. So if everybody does QuickTime, that's not going to do it. So Destiny, you can put it back down and make sure that everybody within the group chooses another software program. The key is that it should be free. There may be like a free version and a paid version, but the criteria is it should be free. It should be different than the other members of your group. It may be that other groups may be using that same Destiny. It doesn't have to be unique among all 40 of us, but it has to be unique among those. That way you can teach each other. And Destiny, that way you can have, if some programs work better than others for certain tasks. So it's basically you have like a toolbox. I don't have just that one hammer. I have several different types of hammer, and I have a screwdriver or whatever. Got it?
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. That's the fun of it. If everybody uses the same one, what's the fun of that? But not only the fun of it, what's the usefulness of it? And then somebody can say to you, a loom is really good, but it has a 5-minute limit. But you may say, all I need is less. That's even great, because I want it to be less than 5 minutes. I want to even be less than a minute. I want to be on TikTok. I want to be on other places. Nobody has concentration to listen more than 5 minutes, right? So that may be an advantage, may be disadvantage. If I want to record my entire lecture for an hour, that's not going to do it, Anything else, Daniel, I need to do?
No.
Perfect. Do I answer, Destiny, all the questions? I appreciate it.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
My pleasure for you. That's why we want to help each other. You know what I mean? So in this case, if I went back to groups, we did this part, that's due Monday. So what I suggest you do is you meet already even tonight or the next day to pick out already your recordings, Destiny, and then you can meet together as a group to have it done. And what I suggest you do, the earlier you do it, the better it's off, right, Destiny? Wait last minute, servers
Yeah.
down, this is down, you know how it goes.
Yep.
Too many times. Hurricane, this, Wi-Fi, Schmi-Fi. I've seen it all, right? So we want to make, and also get it out of the way. And this is an easier assignment than the first one, because the first one we didn't even know how to use Zoom, right? And the first one we didn't know we needed a password. Now it's just an easy add-on, isn't it, Destiny, that you can kind of get something on your way. So if I go to, in this case, Cole, what group were you in?
4.
4. Okay, so I'm going to, Cole volunteered, right? We know that this is a folder, right? That we
Yep.
have it here, that he has Zoom assignment individual. His group has filled this all out. He says in this case, they supposedly all were able to live stream to YouTube. And supposedly, I'm saying supposedly, they've said that they've audited their other links, meaning from other members of your group. Did you do that, Cole?
Yeah.
Okay, so this looks good. And then if I go to the individual assignment, I see the group videos. The only thing I would add here to the group videos while you're there is I would edit it and also put in the link, the manual link, just like it is here. You can actually put it in doesn't take much, put it in the description, also the actual link here. And then we hone in the talks. Next time, I would leave it this way, but the next time, Cole, what I would do is I'd even make it like bullet points. Do you know what I mean? That when you want, isn't it going to be easier for you to read versus everyone else to read rather than long form? If you want to do that, you could probably do it even now. It's put them into at least short sentences. There are short bullet points of what you covered. You can even do that while doing it. The other thing, which hasn't been done here, Gary has it, and Cole, is I do the same thing. So when you say that you've checked those links, you're supposed to have links. You see this, Cole? Recording link, YouTube link, and then I would even make this, is Gary here? Austin? Is he here? Cole?
I'm not sure.
Okay, but anyways, you can check on participating. But I would also keep this short. In my business technology
He's not here.
class, what?
He's not here.
Okay, so we can talk about him while we record it. So we're not talking behind his back, right, Cole? But rather we're using it as useful, and he can see the recording. You can send him a note then, Cole, is shorten this. I don't need to have filler words in my business technology class, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you need to hear that? I don't. And this is supposedly, we want to use it beyond our business technology class. That, Cole, when you go out to the workplace, right, or do an internship, or you want to do some additional work, they want to see what you did. They didn't care whether it's my business technology class or, accounting class or whoever it is. So cut that down. Cole, let's go to yours since Gary isn't here. But above the Zoom and YouTube, I would do the same thing, is I would cut that down into bullet points. Okay. But then Claudia and Amelia, I saw Amelia. Is Claudia here? So Amelia, you're here, right?
Yes.
So
I'm
Amelia,
here too.
oh, good. So the idea is you have the Zoom recording. Do you have the YouTube recording? I don't see those. And then I would state right here, Amelia and Claudia, is what did you do? What's in the Zoom recording and what's in this YouTube recording in bullet points?
Okay.
Makes sense. Well, you're going to remember, I don't remember you showed me one of my links, I have no idea what that link is about. So you want to be able to reuse it.
Okay.
Right, Amelia, you want to be able to reuse it and say, hey, look, I know how to do YouTube recording. And it's not only a YouTube recording, but it's what? Streaming live. Right? Because everybody can do a YouTube recording. What you're doing is streaming live using this YouTube recording. So I would do that. And Claudia, if you've done those both, then put those as individual links. Everybody understand that? Fix it now. So I'm giving you an opportunity. You may even want to do this while you're there. And so when you say go back, Cole, and you said that the audit okay, it really wasn't okay, was it?
No, it was not.
Right? Yeah. So that's it. We learn, right? Each step. So we want to be, as group members, we want to be, if we say audited okay, we want to make sure. And if it wasn't okay, you want to be able to reach out to your group members and tell them what they need to do. And then after they do it, put okay, or just if they haven't corrected it, you may even want to state that there was no individual YouTube recording at the time, or even at the time do it. And then Amelia and Claudia say, we fixed it, or it was our oversight or something, and they can tell you how to improve it. Makes so much sense, huh, Amelia? And then you really can be proud when you can show somebody what you've done, rather than in my business technology class. Nobody cares what you do in a business technology. They care, what can you do for me? And I can make you a star. I can brand you. right? I can, once we're doing a Zoom, we can do in the same time. We don't have to upload. We can be more efficient. And then if we want it, we can do screencasting. Everybody with me so far? So that's what I want from each group. So you may want to make those corrections, and before you meet again to do the screencasting, correct both of those together. You can do both of them at the same time. You understand that, Cole? So why I appreciate you we're taking you as an example, but whatever I tell your group of group 4, it belongs to everybody else's group. And of course, no one is what's nice here, no one's password protected, right? And if it is password protected, figure it out and do it. Anything else, Daniel, that I need to know overview? I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think it's
seems
already
all
spent.
good.
Pardon?
I think if people have been paying attention, there should be nothing that's unclear.
Well, it's hard. I feel for it because I'm online many times too, and it is really easy not to, you know what I mean, to float in, have your mind,
Yep.
have everything else. It's really hard. So even though it shouldn't be, that's why I have all of you to help me, right? Because trust me, I know it's not right, Cole. It's not easy all the time to pay attention in this environment. But the nice thing is we don't have to be in the rain, right, Amelia? That we don't have to deal with it. And there's some positive senses on it. And I'm trying as much as possible. If you've got some other ideas to make it more interactive, be my guest and stay with me. I'm always open to try this. So this is what we want to do. We got this. Even though they do pay attention or not, the beauty here, Daniel, is they can put their comments in the chat as well. Okay.
Yeah, I've been
Everybody
answering a
clear
few.
what we got? Anything else? Then I can move on. Yes, no? Destiny, how we were doing?
We're good.
Okay, we're good. So let's move on. Okay, so what do I have for the what's due? So I know, if I go back to my what's due, I know on Wednesday, as I said, you have chapter TG2A, which is the software, and on Monday, the screencasting. A lot of you can even do that before, and you know what I mean? Some of you may be even able to do it by Wednesday and have it called, even have it done. And this way, just do a review and you say, hey, we got it reviewed. But that's up to you. You know that it's due the time of the class. Okay, great. We got that part done. Next, let's start this way. Amelia, what's your major?
I'm a finance major and a real estate minor.
Oh, wow. Cole, was that a coincidence? See that? Sounds familiar. Now, is that common kind of, have you found other, Amelia, have you found other students in that boat too that are doing finance and real estate?
Yeah, it's pretty common.
It's pretty common. It's pretty good. Okay, guys. So,
But Professor,
yes,
I have a question about the assignment.
what about it?
It's when I click on the link to under what's due and I click on the link to the document, it takes me to the syllabus.
Then it's wrong. Extra credit if that's correct. So which one? Which assignment?
The one on February 12th.
Which one takes you to the syllabus?
Both of them took me to the syllabus.
Daniel, does it take you also?
Those don't look like the syllabus files.
I know.
Let me check.
Let me check. Let me open a new window.
Yeah, that's not the syllabus.
That's not the syllabus. Maybe you had the syllabus already downloaded. Close the syllabus file and try it again. Yes? You may have had the syllabus open already. Close the syllabus and try that. Okay. So let's go to PowerPoint and
Excuse me,
document.
Professor.
What?
Excuse me. I had the same issue. It took me to the syllabus and I closed, like nothing's open. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Send me the file.
Hmm?
Send me the
Okay,
file. Aiden.
Like
No,
on
but
the
just click on it. Click on it and see. Yeah. See,
okay.
it comes up. Click on it. Just click on it.
Okay, I'll
And-
click on it.
And
Yeah.
then go to your downloads.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Definitely ask, in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be a problem. I'm not saying it isn't, but it doesn't look like it is, Just click on it, okay? All right. So everybody click on PowerPoint and documents. And under PowerPoints and documents, Destiny, click on PowerPoint and 9th edition. You there, Destiny?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. What I want to cover tonight is Rayner 9E PPT underscore TG01. And right here at the Rayner 9E PPT, it says final.pptx. You see that?
Yes.
Now, this is your question for tonight, Destiny. That file on Blackboard under PPT documents, PPT 9th edition, that PowerPoint, where does that reside? Where is that stored?
The PowerPoint itself?
Mm-hmm.
It's like in Blackboard?
Okay, and where is in Blackboard? Where does that reside?
What do you mean by that? Like, where does Blackboard, like on the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it?
Like Blackboard itself is on the internet. And then
What does it mean Blackboard itself is on the internet?
I don't think I'm fully understanding the question.
Okay, where does that originate? That PowerPoint, that's PPTX. There's
Yeah.
a file, right?
Yeah.
Where is it being stored? And when you say on the internet, what does that mean?
Like in PowerPoint,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the initial document is, and when you click it to download it, it takes you to PowerPoint
Okay,
itself.
all right, we're starting. Good, Destiny. We're having to download it. Originates, I don't know, the University of Miami, this university bought Blackboard, it didn't buy it, but it basically has subscribed to Blackboard, and it's paying Blackboard to host it, to host this program. It's a software program called Blackboard. It's a learning management system, and it can store files. I uploaded those files to the Blackboard server, and that server, which is a computer somewhere in the world, I don't even know where it's being stored, but I know that it is on the premise probably maybe of Blackboard, or maybe they're using even another intermediary to store it on another computer. And how do I get access to that? It's via a browser on the internet. So Destiny, I have to go through the browser. I have to open up a browser. I have to have internet connection to basically get a hold of this file. We agree on that, right, Destiny?
Yes.
Okay. If I click on this file and you click on it, where does it go?
It
When I click
downloads
on
to the computer.
it goes where? To
It
whose
downloads to
computer?
like my own computer.
To your own computer where? In your computer.
It goes to my files.
It goes
But
to
then-
where? Let's be more specific. Where's it going?
Well, it goes into my files, but then when I open the file, it goes into like the
Okay, so
PowerPoint
basically
app to,
on
like,
my
open up.
case, when I do it, it basically, when I click on it, I go to my downloads, and in my downloads, I can see I even have a couple of copies. I have Rayner PPT. It's stored on my, in this case, it's stored on my hard drive. My hard drive is called in that TG01, when they talked about hardware, it's stored in my primary store, in my secondary storage. My hard drive is my secondary storage in the terms of how it was written in the book. When I go to my download and I click on this secondary storage in the download subdirectory for this file, and I click on it, what will happen? Where will it go anywhere else? Where does it go?
When you click on the file, it opens up in the PowerPoint app.
It opens up in the PowerPoint app, and that file now resides in my primary storage, in my RAM, random access memory. So whenever I execute a software program like this, I basically am using, in this case, PowerPoint, and I'm going to be reading in a file. That file resides in RAM, in my primary storage. Whenever I'm executing any program to be used on my laptop, let's say, it's always going to be stored in my primary. So if we're going to be then, Destiny, what is your major?
Management and global business.
Then it's in global business. And let's say you're going to do a planning document, right? That planning document, when you're going to be doing any editing, any work on that planning document, will be placed in RAM, will be placed in primary memory. When you make any corrections and you save it to your secondary storage. Your primary storage is volatile, meaning that if the electricity goes out in my office and I make changes and it's just sitting in RAM, I could possibly lose the new data that I put. So if I go to, in this case, I go to this file, right? And I bring it up. PowerPoint then loads from my hard drive to memory, and it loads up the PowerPoint. This PowerPoint now resides in my RAM. So here's the PowerPoint that you have access to, where they talk about the link, the hardware design, the business, the hierarchy, the input. You need to know these concepts. And notice here, they talk about the central processing unit. They talk about primary storage. They talk about secondary storage. And if you look at it, you can even see that down below, if you want to, in these PowerPoints, they've also put in some notes there, if you would like, about what's the difference between primary and secondary. And then Destiny, they basically talk about strategic hardware issues that I know that I have to keep in mind if I'm going to be doing any heavy duty types of computations. I have to figure out, do I want to use my own computer? Do I want to use the lab's computer? Do I want to use the computers in the cloud? Depending on how much resources I need to know. And I know that sometimes now they're talking about bring your own device, that many times if you start working, they'll expect you to bring your own device, or you want to bring your own device. You don't want to use your employer's computers or their devices to do. And they know that basically that computer hierarchy, everything has gotten smaller, more powerful. We all know that. It basically is on the input and the output, but let me show you what I want to concentrate in. You guys can read on your own. I'm expecting, and that's a prerequisite in this class, that everybody can read English, right? And even now, even if English is not your mother tongue, you can always get translations. But in this case here, if I think about it, the central processing unit, when they talk about computers, is like the brains of the computer, right? And it's divided up in some different ways in which it basically, how the CPU works is that inputs come into that central processing unit from what we call that random access memory that we talked about, and that data in those instructions are going to be traveling through this in the chip via electrical pathways, doesn't matter. And there's something called an ALU, which stands for arithmetic logic unit. So if I look at this diagram, and if I look at this diagram, let's see if from the current slide, which we can see better, if I look at this diagram, I see, Destiny, I have input here going one way. So this is where I'm going to input my data. And then I have this microprocessor. This is my CPU right here, which has my control unit. I have something called that ALU. This does my arithmetic, and it does greater than and less than. That's my logic. This register, this holds some data that's very small, but it can be very quick. And then look at here, Destiny. Here's my secondary storage. Here's where you said that you downloaded it to, right? To your hard drive. And notice there's two-way arrow. Why is there two-way arrow, not one way? In the input, there's one way. Why is there two-way?
Because data can be moved back and forth to and from.
Exactly. That means when I downloaded it to my secondary storage from what? The cloud, from the server that was stored on Blackboard, right? It basically took the operating system when I clicked on it. Remember, I clicked on that file that was a PowerPoint file. It took that data and brought it in. The operating system helped in bringing it into my main memory, which is quicker than the secondary storage. And then when I save it, I make corrections. I added a number of different, you added in your group, maybe added some more. It's going, of course, to save it in the secondary storage because my main memory, what did we say, was volatile. When I shut down my machine, this no longer will remain, that file will no longer remain in the primary. It has to remain in the secondary. You got it? And my output, if I'm going to go to print it out or go at another place here, my communication device, it's one way. So basically, if I look at how that CPU works, then that CPU, then that microprocessor, the inputs from those software, then it's going to go in and basically you can see one way. Right, it's going to do some decoding instructions. If I have an Excel spreadsheet, right, that I'm evaluating some real estate deals, or I'm going to be doing some automated trading strategies where I want to do some prediction, it's going to be doing some arithmetic, take those results, save it in RAM, and then I want to save it in my primary. And then there's something called Moore's Law that basically that's even antiquated already, basically talking about how fast things are going to be evolving in the computer industry. We're also talking about increasing the miniaturization. We're doing 3D. And then this is what we can think about: primary versus secondary storage. So if I think about primary and secondary storage, you can see down below, you'll see the ideas here. What is larger? That if I looked at it, Caden, if I thought about what is your primary storage versus your secondary, what is larger?
Your primary storage?
Okay, what do you think, Charlie?
Oh boy.
I think
If I'm going to you, you know that wasn't a, maybe you picked something else, huh?
secondary.
Okay, good. He had it easy, Caden, right? He heard you,
Yeah,
right?
it was
He
easy
looks
for
like he's
him.
brilliant, right? Next time, Caden, tell me to call on Charlie first, and then you'll get it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. So we gotta have a good time on this. But basically, this is it. What I'm gonna ask you to do for the next time, and maybe even you can do it now, is figure out when I look at it, when I'm looking at it, is you need then to tell me how much primary storage or RAM and secondary storage you have on your computer. And if you don't know how to find it, what would you do? What would you do, Charlie? You look it up, right? You could Google it. You could do a chat GPT. What do you have, Charlie? A Mac?
Yeah, I have a Mac.
Okay, so basically you tell me how much primary storage RAM you have and how much secondary storage you have. And you look it up too, Caden. Don't just because Charlie got the right answer. He didn't know.
Okay.
He guessed, right? So how much do you have, Charlie? Did you figure it out? Did you figure out how much you had? Destiny, did you figure out how much RAM you have and how much secondary storage you have? Let everybody do it now.
Where do I look?
Where do you look? Where do you think he should look? You should look it up, right? You can
Okay.
even look it up in Google or somewhere else. Look up if I have a Mac, how do I find out how much primary storage RAM and secondary storage one has? Remember, in this class, it's just not how do I look it up. You guys are learning how to look it up, right? You're not,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because you know tomorrow something's going to be different. That's what this class is about, is how do you figure out things that you don't know? Right? And that's the beauty. Can you use Google in my lectures, Amelia? Do I allow you?
Yes, I'm looking that
Yes.
up.
Do I encourage you? Yes. When I ask somebody a question, Charlie, and they say, I don't know, well, what do I say? Then look it up. I don't know isn't enough in this class, right? We all don't know. We weren't born with this stuff. But how fabulous is it that we have all these tools, right? Chat GPT, right? Bard, that can tell us and even explain to us. So Amelia, did you do it? Did you look it up?
Yes, I did. It says that memory isn't the same thing as storage, right? I know that you press on the apple on the side of my computer.
Yeah,
and
and what
that's
does
how
it tell you
find
right
it.
there?
It tells me memory, graphics, processor.
Does it give you a number?
It says 16 gigabytes for memory.
Okay, 16 gigabytes. So do you think that's RAM or that's secondary storage?
Secondary storage. No, RAM.
RAM. Okay, and your job then for next time we meet, Cole, is what? Is to find out how much primary storage RAM you have and how much secondary, and which one do you think is going to be larger? Cole.
Secondary.
Secondary, right?
I found out how much my computer has.
How much?
18 gigabytes.
18 gigabytes for what, RAM, and how much secondary? And how many secondary storages do you have? What are the sizes of that?
Hold on.
And who cares? we care because maybe later on when we're going to be using a software, they're going to say that you can't use that software unless you have 64 gig.
Storage.
So you got to figure it out. So what did you get, Sophie?
I'm still trying to figure out the secondary storage part.
Okay,
but
what did you get on the primary?
32 gigabytes.
Okay, 32 gigabyte.
Is secondary storage like how much your computer can hold?
That means if you have hard drives in your computer, what the size is. So you have to figure out how many hard drives. Some people have more than one hard drive. Secondary storage could even be basically external too to your computer. But we got to find out for next class, and even start now, is how much secondary storage do you have in your laptop? Why is that important? Because a lot of times the internal, right, the primary storage is going to be dependent on what software we use. So if we use a sophisticated software, some of you may not be able to run that software efficiently, right, Sophie? So you may have to tell your group, hey, we got to find other means. Maybe we have to go to the lab, or maybe we will, as a company, we need to buy computers with more RAM.
Professor,
Or maybe
which
we need, Sophie, maybe we need to then require the cloud services. Amazon allows us, Google allows us, Microsoft allows us to use their hardware to do calculations. Did you know that, Sophie?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so basically what they have is, have you ever heard of AWS? Amazon Web Services is the unit that's most profitable at Amazon. Not selling their books, not selling all their stuff, not their grocery, but it's their services for cloud services for companies to say, you know what, we'll use your hardware and maybe even your software to run our applications, the company's applications. Because Sophie, it may be worth it. This way we don't have to buy hardware all the time. It may be worth it for us, Sophie, if we're going to start growing, right? We start off small and we're going to expand. Rather than every 3 months buying more hardware, we'll just use theirs. And for just like for email and for social media, we'll just use our laptops. But for heavy duty processing, we'll use Amazon, or we'll use Microsoft's called Microsoft Azure, or we'll use Google Cloud. Google has a cloud. And what does that mean? That you can basically even do artificial intelligence with the training models. You can use their hardware. So for next time, what I want, why that's important is figure out, right, Caden, is to figure out where's the primary and where's the secondary. And do research and say, hey, do I have hard drives on my computer? What are the sizes of those? And you say, I don't care. Well, sure you care. If you're going to be in business, you care. You're going to give somebody else advice, you care. And when we're going to start doing in fintech any types of processes, you say, you know what, Sophie, you may say, you know, we'll use somebody else's computer because they're going to be faster than my computer. Make sense, Sophie?
Yes.
So then what your goal is for Wednesday, that everybody comes and then they can, off the top, nobody know you bought a computer and didn't even pay attention, or somebody else bought the computer for you. Well, how much primary, right? And you know my primary is going to be less than my secondary, but the more primary I have, the better I'm going to be doing. Have you ever done it when you open up a number of applications, all of a sudden your computer slows down? Because what is really happening? What is happening if I go back here, that when I think about my primary, let me even go back even one more. If I look back at this slide, my secondary storage, if my primary storage, and a lot of times we call it my RAM, if it's not big enough, what happens is the operating system will only take like parts of the program and the data and store it here. And when it needs more, it kind of flips it back and forth. Sophie, do you think that takes time? Of course it does. Do you think that's efficient? Of course not. So the more RAM you have, the more applications I can run at the same time, and the more data that I have that I need to process, it will be quicker. And sometimes some software will say, listen, it won't work unless you have this amount of RAM. For doing PowerPoint and doing Word, right, I don't need a lot. Or doing simple spreadsheets, I don't need a lot. But if I do heavy duty processing, I do. So this is the way in which, if I looked at the computer hierarchy, the computer basically just reads data and processes zeros and ones. So if I looked at Sophia Alexandra, your name, then that a S is basically a byte is going to be like one character. And usually contains 8 bits. So if we wanted just to look at the S, that S would be just different ways in which I would have zeros and ones creating then the letter S. And different ways of zeros and one for O, P, H, and so forth. So I have that 1 byte. And then kilobytes, we're talking about 1,000. Here we're talking a million and so forth. So when you talk about I have gigabytes, that's of how many that we really think about, of how many bytes, and then those bytes times 8 of how much it can process. And then, of course, it goes down, and we can see that what's going to be the future. The future is, of course, terabytes. Everybody now even can have hard drives with terabytes, where it used to be gigabytes. Now and the prices go down that you can have terabytes. And then later on, if I'm going to do any artificial training and so forth, they're talking about petabytes. Many data, and what do I have to do is I have to find ways to process it quickly and to find patterns, which we will talk about data. And then you can think about it, that computer memory or that primary storage, when we think about it, we talked about a primary storage, AKA is really like a lot of times we talk about main memory, and a lot of times we're really talking about those 4 types of primary storage. We're really a lot of times talking about RAM, which is random access memory. That's what we have all these acronyms. Nobody was born with this. Random access memory. And basically that is what we call volatile memory. Volatile means that it's not stable. That when I turn off my computer, I lose what's in RAM. That is, and then the read-only memory that comes part of my primary storage it's a small amount. And it was placed by the manufacturer. That you don't read, you don't understand it, you don't need to understand it, but it allows basically for the system to boot up. Have you ever seen like the system boots up and part of the operating system allows for all this transfer? So basically that primary memory, when somebody asks you, then Sophie, who cares about RAM? Who cares about main memory? You said we should, because that's going to give us the space to do our processing. Our processing is only done in primary memory. It is not done in your secondary storage of your hard drive. And many times in lay persons, people say, how much memory do you have? And they're really talking about their hard drives. And they mix those up. So when people sometimes talk about how much memory they have, people say, I have 1 terabyte. You know, Sophie, they're talking about their their storage, their secondary storage. They're not talking about their RAM. Because right now, nobody has these PCs that have 1 terabyte of RAM. Later on, it's going to get more and more, but it's not going to be that long. So when you think about it, that primary memory compared with secondary storage is per byte much cheaper than primary storage. But primary storage is much faster, and primary storage is where I do most of my calculations. So did that help, Destiny? Just to clarify a bit.
Yes, it does.
So that's what I want to be, Cole. So this is what I want to concentrate on. You can read, Cole. I know you can read, right? But I want to spend not time of regurgitating the book, but rather kind of emphasizing those areas that I think are confusion for most people. And to concentrate on that. Okay, Caden, so if I said now that primary and that secondary storage, it's now second nature.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? So we don't, and Charlie, you know, was just lucky he got the second question. Next time I'll ask Charlie first, right? You almost have the same lighting too.
I know, right?
Isn't it? What is that? That's that orange that with the U in the back and the orange. I'm telling you,
It's almost
like I don't know what is this, a nightclub or what?
yeah.
It's that orange look of having fun, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What else do I need to do on this Monday evening to share with you? Okay, so Daniel, thank you for helping us. Destiny, thanks a lot, and those that took me up on it, and Sophie and Charlie and Caden that took my and Cole, right, took my abuse. That you went through it wasn't so bad. So we basically have to kind of figure out how to approach this. Any questions, Sophie?
No.
Okay, so basically, let me do attendance. I'll stay with you as long as you need to. Everybody now knows what the next assignment is, right, Amelia? Fix up. I'm giving you some time to fix up your Zoom, right? And all your, basically your links and written up. And then move on to doing the screencasting. And each of you again will do what? Take a different program. You may want to even do that tonight. You know, I don't have to micromanage, but make sure that you do it, that everybody has a unique program that they'll evaluate. What I suggest is take a program you haven't used. So a lot of people would say, oh, I know QuickTime, I want to take it. I'd say, why not have something else in your toolbox that you haven't used and just search it out, right? Caden, how would you find it? You search free screencasting, screen recording programs that are free, or at least part of it's free, right? And then you'll pick up, and then you can even see what the evaluations, what are the best, you know, what do people say? Right? You're good consumers. Kind of, and you can even ask, you know, all those AI, right? Tell me which ones I should use that are able to do what, that are easy to use, give it qualifications. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me do the attendance. Let me close this. When I close it, where does it go in RAM? What happens? Sophia Alexandra, I close this. What happens to my RAM of my PowerPoint?
Sorry, what? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm closing here and I don't want to save. If I
Okay.
said save, where will it save it to?
Your
In a
desktop.
RAM, or will it save it to my external, my secondary storage?
The first one, I think.
It'll save to my secondary storage, right? If I don't save, all my additions will be gone because it's in RAM, right? And now I want to go to attendance. And I want to check in. $51.71. When you check in, and you don't need to see me, I'll see you next time we meet. And have a good, safe week. Keep dry. I think tomorrow's supposed to be a nice day. Okay?
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Bye,
Thank
have a
you.
good day.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Rush.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. Okay. So stay with me if you haven't gotten 5171. Okay, it's 5171. What do I need to do here? So what are the issues here? Do I need to stop recording?
I just stopped recording.
Thank you.
Okay.